TE.
What omnyama investigators ngufete matoko?
It's in Ndlovu, Tlanganiso,
Atwanhlanganiso Ndlovu.
and the other one it was.
This one,
Okay.
investigating officers.
It's me and Fatima Toko.
So it's just the two of you.
Yes.
What you say to Sobabi?
Right. And it is correct that there are 3 dockets. Eden Park, and you also investigate an officer in Eden Park. You and Fairfield are investigating officers in 412.
Eldorado Park.
Eden Park, dockets 412 of 8, 2020.
Sorry, Maro, it's Eldorado Park.
I don't know why people say that. I think it was my previous trial that we were dealing with Eden Park. And when I made my notes, I put E Park, sound like. Yes. So it's 412 of 8 2020, 413 of 8 2020, and then there's the docket 09 of 09 2020.
That's correct.
Sorry, the 09 2020.
09 of 09. The 9th of the 9th 2020.
Itoka tusenza ngaso 412.
412 of 8 2020, 413
2020.
and 413 of 8
413 of 2020.
Itoka tusenza ngaso 412 of 8 2020, no 413 of 8 2020, no 0909 in 2020.
This, as this is a trial, I'm going to get straight to the point. On the 28th of August 2020, did you see accused number 1?
Yes.
Okay, on the 28th of August 2020, wambona umsolo ukala to ewe.
Where did you see her?
Wambona api?
I saw her at Clip Down SAPS.
Wambona clip down SAPS. That's pretty soon.
And how did you arrive there?
Wafika njani apho?
Okay, I remember in the morning on the 28th, I started at Deep Kloof Mortuary. I was attending postmortem.
Ngomhla 28 ngaqala Deep Kloof Mortuary. Then you attend the postmortem.
Yes.
After the
Mortuary, just a minute. Yes.
After the postmortem, I phoned Colonel Sambo because on the previous day he was the one who reported the incident to me. So I wanted to collect the Form 1 report. So when I phoned him, he said he's at Clip Down. He's with IPIT. They are having a meeting regarding the murder of the 16-year-old boy.
Ngizogqiba pha postmortem ndafonela uKolonel Sambo ngoba ngifuna ukumnika report kusuka wathi use-Clip Down unabantu bakwa-IPD.
I wanted to take a report. I wanted to collect a report from him.
Benifuna uyothatha i-report kuye, and then wayesethi ngizomfuna use-Clip Down unabantu bakwa-IPD ngoba kukho unyana oswelekile oneminyaka engu-15.
When I arrived there, the meeting was already finished.
Ufika apho ndafumana uba sebegqibile nge-meeting.
And how did you, and who was with you? When you
I was alone.
When you're traveling?
Yes, I was
Ngihamba
alone.
ndodwa.
Yes.
He gave me the report.
Ewandipha lo report.
Yeah.
Then I found that my colleagues were not there. I phoned them. They said that they at Eldorado, they're busy doing investigations, so I must come there.
So colleagues zami zathi no azekho apho zise-Eldorado zibhizi nge-investigation apho.
Sorry, Mr. Buffett, because we are busy with driving, I don't want to go to every rule. The question was, when you said that you saw her, when was this?
It's what after I came back from Eldorado Park. We went to Eldorado Park to do investigation. We were obtaining witness statements there.
You think?
Witness statements. We were obtaining statements.
Bendise-Eldorado ndizogqiba apha e-Eldorado ndaya-ke ndambona besithatha besine-investigation e-Eldorado Park sithethe witness statement.
You say we, who's we?
Me, Busi, Fede, and Ndlovu.
Athi ngindim ubusi nofete nondlovu.
Okay, now I want to, you said you saw a clip down. Am I correct?
Who?
Accused number one. Where was
No, I didn't see it. That
Where
time
did you see her the first time?
Wambona phi okokuqala umsolokane?
after the investigation, after we took the statement, we went, it was late after past 6 in the evening.
Athi asimbone ngo-past 6 yes entambama.
Ms. Makubela, where did you see her the first time?
Wambona phi okokuqala?
I saw him after.
Yeah, but where did you see her?
Oh, at Clip Down.
Athi ndambona eClip Town.
And were you with anybody when you arrived there? At
Onomuntu
Clip Down when you saw
Yes,
her?
yes.
onomuntu xa ufika phansi
Who were you with?
I was with Ndlovu.
ndandinondlovu.
So you traveled with Ndlovu.
Yes, yes.
Ukuhamba nondlovu athi ewe.
And where was she when you saw her?
Wambona phi ke xa
She was with Fete and Busi.
wayenofethi nobusi.
They were outside in the car. I'm not sure whether they were inside or, but they were next to the car.
Babeme kufitshane nemoto.
Do you remember where accused one was at that point?
I think she was inside the car. I'm not
Amsolo
sure.
qala ubesemotweni ngelo xesha.
And do you remember where Feti and Mr. Matoka and Lucy was?
I can't remember, but I know there were 3. We found them, there were 3.
Bathi bebebathathu apha.
Right. Now at this point, did you at any stage speak to accused number one?
No.
Uye wathetha nomsolo oqala wathi akhange ndithethe naye.
In what vehicle was she in?
The car that Busi and Fete they were driving.
Or what car was it?
It's a state vehicle,
What color?
white.
Behamba nge-state vehicle emhlophe.
Now, did you at any stage enter that white vehicle where accused one was seated?
I don't remember.
Bathi wangena kule moto umsolo oqala behleli kwathi andikhumbuli.
And did you at any stage make any promises to accused number one?
No. What kind of
Njengoba
promises?
nexesha apho uye wathembisa umsolo oqala into ethi
Sorry?
Maybe you can be specific. What kind of promises?
Not your opinion asked.
Uh,
Did you make any promise?
No, no.
You say at no stage did you
No,
on that
no.
day speak to her?
No.
athi ngelo xesha uyathetha athi akhange ndithethe.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions.
Cross-examination.
Morning.
Is it correct that you are investigation officer in this matter?
Ngiyaliba uyi-investigation officer kule kodwa
Correct.
athi unjani?
Just a moment, Mother. I'll start by my client's version. Accused number one, my client, being white boy, she will come and testify that while waiting in the car, Wusi Manyuku and Queen Makubela kept on coming to her and asked her not to worry, and she just said to
Not just a minute. He said while she was in the car,
Indeed, my lord.
athi ngelaa xesha esemotweni
Busi and Queen,
And Makulela and Usman, yes.
athi ubusemnyuko noQueen Makhubela
Kept coming to check on accused number 1.
just a minute.
bebesiza kuye
Yes, my lord, my apology, my lord.
No? Yes.
That accused,
No, sorry, others. Can we perhaps stop at this one, because let's keep it broken up.
Yes.
She maybe reply to this, and then my colleague can put the next part. And if then we know she's going to answer all the aspects to it.
sorry.
Yes, the question is that, not a question, the story that she's going to tell you, is number 1, is that while she was in the car, Busi Munyuku and yourself kept coming to check on her. You understand that, Ms. Mukulena?
Yes.
What is your response to that?
No.
While she was in the car, you and Ms. Munyuku kept on coming to check on her. What is your reaction?
Well, what I know is that we were standing there outside the car with her, all the 5 of us. We were there.
The version.
Oh, okay, that's, I don't know. It's a version.
This is what, that's what is going to tell me. That while she was in the car, you and then Ms. Munyuku kept on coming to check on her.
That's not correct.
Sorry?
We were all outside. We were all
But what
outside.
I'm saying is this, that you have already said.
Mm.
But what she is going to tell you is that while she was in the car, you and Ms. Munyuku kept on coming to check on her. What is your response to that?
athi ngelaa xesha esengaphakathi emotweni wena noMiss Munyuku benidla ngoza nizomtshekisha
Because I want to explain, when I arrived with Ndlovu, she was inside the car. Then when we arrived, they all came out from, she also came out from the car. We were standing, waiting for
Xa sifika
Scorpion.
thina noNdlovu ube semotweni but xa sifika apho waphuma emotweni saba sonke ngaphandle
I don't know whether you understand it.
No, I don't understand.
That is what you are saying. But what is her version is, she was in the car, and while she was in the car, you and Booth kept on checking, coming to check on her.
No.
When you say no, what is it? What do you say? What do you mean?
Because we were standing with her.
So you don't admit it?
No, I don't admit.
athi hayi andivumi loo nto
You deny that because you were standing
With her.
athi ndiyala ngoba besime naye
Yes.
and that she must just be strong and tell the truth, and should be made a state witness, and should be protected.
That's,
Can you repeat it again?
That she must be strong and tell the truth, and should be made a state witness to protect herself.
Says she must be strong
And she also gonna get a job back, my lord.
now let's talk. She must be strong.
She must be strong, my lord, and just tell the truth,
ukuthi aqine
Yes.
athathe inyani uzokwenza i-state witness and uzawufumana nomsebenzi wakhe uzawubuyela umsebenzini.
That's incorrect. I never said anything to her.
And
Khange ndiyithethe loo nto kuyena.
and she further say that that is the reason why she was kept in a safe place at Koshimampuzi.
Athi loo nto yenza uba agcine endaweni ekhuselekile yase-State Mampuru.
No, we were instructed after her appearance at first appearance. We were instructed that she's receiving threat from accused number 2. So, as a result, they arranged to have to go to Mampuru, Koshimampuzi.
Emva kokuba appearishe court, sevuba uba uyothuselwa ngumsolo wesibili. So yiloo nto yenza uba athathwe ayiswe eKoshimampuzi.
Together, did any stage you ever entered into the car?
Uye wangena emotweni?
No.
Aqale ndingene.
Isn't that petrol white? Which car were you referring to?
I'm referring to the Polo, my lord, the white Polo, which was there where my client was inside.
Sithe ngepolo imhlophe.
I remember, I don't know which car did we use, because she said, while interviewing her, she said accused number 2 throw some of the bullets at the open field. So I don't know which car did we use to go there.
Anamba siliseyiphi imoto ngoba sibe umsola si uhambe wayelahla amabhulethi kuloo ndawo esigangeni.
Ms. Makuela, I'm referring to the white Polo.
No.
Did any state enter into the white Polo, Ms. Makuela?
Uye wangena kwipolo imhlophe.
I already answered.
Yes, answer the question.
Phendula.
For the court to decide whether you don't have to, because you don't take that yourself. Let's respect another question.
I said I entered the car when, by the time we were going to Mondio.
Mase sangena emotweni ngela xesha siya eMonti.
Ms. Makuela,
Just a minute.
Ms. Makuela, you entered into the car in the presence of accused number 1, is that correct?
Ngene emotweni nomsolo wakala njani?
What stage? I don't understand. What
Maybe.
stage?
The Twitter police station.
But I already explained that we entered Clifton going to Mondio. We were going to Mondio.
Athi ndiye ndasho ndathi singene emotweni xa sisiya eMonti.
In the presence of my client.
She was inside.
wait for the counsel to finish his question, then you can answer.
Because when he entered inside the white collar, my client accused number 1, she was inside. Is that correct?
Don't raise your voice. You're not treated.
My apology, my lord. My
My
apology, my lord. My apology, my lord. I will always remember that his lordship also wants us not to play to the barracks, so my apology.
No, the thing is, the question is when you entered that vehicle, accused number 1 was already there. You understand the question?
No, perhaps you should just specify the 28th because
We are talking about the 28th.
So actually, that's just going to be
Yes. And the witness has already indicated that she only entered that at the time when they were going to Monday. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Kureza? The state asked you earlier on, and it's on record, but you said you don't remember.
Remember?
Whether you entered to the car or not.
bakuzele uba uyangena emotweni wathi wasakhumbula.
By that time, I was saying when I arrived, I did not enter the car. So after we arrested them, that's when I entered the car. When I arrived, I didn't enter. We were all standing outside.
Andifika khange singene emotweni. Ngendangena emotweni sathi sibakophile.
Mr. Kubela, I'm referring you to what was put to you by my learned colleague, the state that at any stage did you ever enter into the car, and then your response was, I don't remember.
No. Didn't say at any stage. He said at that stage.
At that stage, yes, my lord.
Not any stage.
No, my lord. Yeah, it's true, my lord. I put it to you at the time when you entered into the car, that's when you tell my client, accused number 1, that she shouldn't worry, everything will be okay. What's your response to that?
That's incorrect.
Ata hiyo nyanda.
When she entered the car.
Indeed, my lord. Mr. Kubela, are you telling this honorable court that you did not speak to the accused at all?
On the 28th.
On the 28th, inside the car.
Nana, 28 khange
I
sithe
did not
nomsolo.
interview her. Mr. Ndlovu, he was the one who was in control of the interview.
Hayi khange ndithethe naye. Umtata uNdlovu nguye obethetha naye.
So you said you didn't talk to her at all?
Yeah.
Just a minute. The question is not whether you interviewed her.
Mm.
The question is whether you did speak to or with her.
Yes, I spoke to her, but I can't remember whether I think I greeted her when I arrived. Yes, I spoke to her.
Ndiye ndathetha naye andisakhumbuli uba zithetha ntoni. Into endiyaziyo ndiye ndambingelela country.
Mr. Kubela, I put it to you that you spoke to my client when she was inside the car.
That's incorrect.
Hayi hiyo nyanda.
But you just admitted now a minute ago.
Usisando ivuma mhlanga.
Ms. Makubele, is correct that you are investigating this investigation in this matter, and you do have an interest in the matter, is that correct?
Interest.
I'll rephrase the question. I'll rephrase the question.
Counsel doesn't have the matter and doesn't have interest in this matter. It's only having interest in this justice. The matter is not yours. The matter is not as the state is not having the interest. So let's not confuse.
Yeah, indeed so. Is it correct that you are the investigator in this matter? Is that correct?
Is
Remember,
that sure?
we investigated the AM.
Ms. Nakubela, are you saying that you did not talk to my clients about this matter at all when you were talking to her?
No, I didn't.
Kama tata na ngalendo ngalendo tata na
I put it to you that you are not telling the truth.
13 years.
That's incorrect.
My lord, I have no further questions from you.
Any re-examination? Steve, is there any re-examination?
No.
Thank you, Ms. Secretary, Ms. McDowell.
Ano mambo mkwenda mnganyawo.
Thank you, my lord.
I'll go to my question. And in the trial.
Yes.
Can I humbly request a counter break before we go forward?
Okay, now,
But,
would you, I was intending not to stop. Can I just give you a permission to enjoy your comfort break, then you understand?
no, just about a few minutes.
Yes.
2-3 minutes.
Yes.
I'll
We'll wait.
return. Is the court going to wait for me?
No, we'll wait for you.
My lord, can I also take a moment, my lord?
Please.
My lord.
Please.
Okay, thank you, my lord.
We'll only be talk, if we talk, we'll talk about.
No, you're free to talk. You're not witnesses.
We're not going to
You're not,
change.
you're witnesses. You're not witnesses.
Word exchange.
I thought you know you wanted to run.
No, we're talking about for the weekend, my lord.
Lord, I'm grateful to the court.
It's part of your human rights.
Thanks, my lord.
Then, Mr. Shivasa, the state has closed this case. What is your
My lord, I will ask my clients to
call the witnesses? Two names?
Kylene Whiteboy.
Two witnesses.
Will you have any protection to taking the prescribed oath?
No, my lord.
Do you know that such an oath is binding to your conscience?
Yes.
If you're going to speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
So, my Lord.
Thank you, Ms. Whiteboy.
Thank you, my lord.
good morning, my wife.
Good morning, my lord.
It looks good today. What's the occasion?
It's my birthday.
Ah, it's your birthday.
Yes, my lord.
Can you tell this honorable court where exactly did they fetch you on the day in question?
My lord, we left home because of the threats and because of the strike, so we were at Kliptown by my aunt's house at Josco Flats.
Sasuka ekhaya ngoba besothuswa sayohlala kwa-aunt wami.
The question is, where were you placed?
At Josco Flats, my lord.
Sorry?
At Josco Flats. Josco Flats in Kliptown. Josco.
Joe?
Josco Flats.
Status,
Josco.
J-O-S-C-O.
SCO.
Josco Place.
Yes, my lord.
At Kliptown, my lord.
At Kliptown.
Ngandilande eJosco Flats eCliptown.
At your aunt's place.
Yes, my lord.
Endaweni ka-aunt wami.
Just for clarity, not you. Oh, okay. It's common cause that you were taken to a magistrate to make a confession or admission statement. Is that correct?
Correct, my lord.
To make a statement, you know, this thing of giving it names, it confuses.
I will. Is it correct that you were taken to a magistrate to make a statement?
Yes, my lord.
Wathathwa yiswa kwamajistrate ukwenza i-statement of the ewe.
Did you go there by yourself?
Why what?
No, I was accompanied by two males.
Andihamba namadoda amabini.
Can we mention the name if you remember?
I don't know their names, my lord, as I didn't speak to them when they picked me up at the police station.
Xa ndithethe nabo andibazi amagama.
What was the state of mind at that time?
I was arrested with sleeping tablets and pain medication, my lord. I was arrested with sleeping tablets and pain medication for the firearm that hit me in my face.
Sleeping children?
And pain medication, my lord.
Nathi bendisele amapilisi olala nawepain ubuhlungu.
How was your state of mind in the holding cell before meeting with the magistrate?
Ubunjani ngela xesha useseleni umele uyobonana nomagistrate?
On Saturday evening, my lord, the police found me in the holding cell. I wasn't conscious. They bought magou milk, the magou in the carton. They bought it to try to let me drink it so that I can get a bit of energy. They still said to me I mustn't scare them, and they were about to call the ambulance because they were struggling to get me to come right.
Nathi Usuku bangumgqibelo amaxesha eza namahewu ukuzondiselisa ngoba bendingena-energy bebezama uba ndibe ne-energy ukwazi ukuvuka ngoba bethi ndibathusile ngoba bengakwazi ukundivusa.
On what basis did you agree to be taken to a magistrate?
Because on Friday I saw iPad twice, in the morning and in the evening, my lord. And in the evening I was waiting in the car. We were waiting for accused number 2 to arrive. When iPad fetched me, they said they're fetching me for my phone. When I got to the car, I wanted to give them the phone over, but they said no, I must get inside the car. We then left to Kliptown police station, my lord. When we got to Kliptown police station, they said I must wait for accused number 2 to arrive. While sitting in the car, I was waiting. iPad was standing outside of the car. There's these containers, but it's like rooms, containers, that's rooms. There was containers there where the cars was parked, and iPad was standing by the containers. I was in the car. What was your question now again, sorry?
On what
basis did I make the statement? Yes. I was sitting in the car, my lord, when Queen and Boosie came to come and check on me. They asked me if I'm okay because I was crying in the car, my lord. They said to me I shouldn't worry. They will if I tell the truth, they will make me a state witness. They will protect my family.
But Filemoteni, Begusiza Ubus and Queen, Wabendi, then who's on Busman the writing, Wabendi, the lane.
You said the truth. What is this about the truth?
I should tell the truth because
Just a minute.
What the Tete Inyan?
Yes, because.
I should tell the truth. They will make me a state witness. They will protect.
Just a minute.
What in the Tete Inyan was on the state witness?
They will protect my family, my lord.
Also, Kusala the one.
I will get my job back and I will go back. I will go home.
I think that's nonsense. One is always nobody like her.
How many occasions did you meet with IP on the 28th of 2020? Okay.
Twice, my lord.
Nothing that's on an AP baby.
What was the reason for you meeting with IP on those occasions?
Oh, sure, and then again, IP in yellow question, I don't know.
In the morning, Colonel Abdul called me. He said I should meet with IPAT at 10 o'clock at...
Just a minute in the morning.
Colonel Abdul called me.
When also Colonel Abdullah Fonel.
That will be the morning of the 20th.
Yes, my lord, of the 28th.
Okay, yeah, 28.
Yes. And
He said-
Approved called you.
He said I must meet with IPAT at 10 o'clock at Kliptown police station.
I will find the one in the IP 10 o'clock Cape Town police station.
He said Colonel Chauke will be there waiting for me.
What happens of Mana Colonel Chauke and the man?
Can you share with this court with Colonel Abdul?
Colonel Abdul is a colonel at our police station. He was second in charge from Brigadier Van Dijk.
Colonel Abdul Ube kube ngowesibini ukusuka kophethe isiteshi sethu uColonel Van Dijk,
Brigadier Van Dijk.
uBrigadier Van Dijk.
Why can't you just tell this court briefly who made those promises to you specifically?
It was Queen and Boosie when I was in the car at iPad past 5, from past 5 to past 7. I'm not sure what time Mrs. Makubela arrived, but both of them were speaking to me in the car at Kliptown Police Station.
I don't win no rules over it and I'm also 5 after 7. Clipdown Police Station.
Do you remember where the promises were made?
In the car at Kliptown Police Station, my lord.
Yes, I am on the MOT, a police station as a Clipdown.
White boy, why did you insist in making a statement to the magistrate?
Because Queen and Boosie said that I should insist on making this statement so that I can become a state witness, as they are the investigating officers and they can do it for me.
Okay, that's on this state witness and doing going to one that when's a statement.
Is it correct that Colonel Sambo interviewed you when you come back to the station?
No, Colonel, I didn't speak to anyone that evening at the station, my lord. I was crying. Sergeant Scorpion, accused number 2, was the only one speaking at the police station.
Current Nathaniel Sambo, a police station, Bendilila, a police station, Umdo Ochetan Abantu, is it Ken?
Sergeant Scorpion.
Sergeant Scorpion.
Accused number
2, yes.
Solo is being.
Why can't you briefly to this honorable court? Why did I pick you up at George Town flat, not at your residential place?
The morning I woke up, because there was an IB entry to go to work, as we would be permanently placed on the 27th. We were supposed to meet in the boardroom at 8 o'clock. So when I woke up, I got a message from Constable Fasagi, which was in the car with us the evening of the 26th. I got a message from Constable Fasagi saying that there's a strike in Eldorado Park and they know who shot.
Constable Fasagi said to go to strike
From there, I was scared because Sergeant Scorpion was also sending threats for me to write a witness statement because to cover his perjury docket.
Sergeant Scorpion statement who cover the perjury document.
That's when I told my whole family, my mother, which is 71 years old, I told them, please leave the house. I don't want them to get hurt because of my job.
Constable Whitebody, did any stage tell someone that you want to make a statement?
No, my lord, I was crying. Constable Hosing Fasagi and Sergeant Scorpion was there. I wasn't speaking to anyone at the station. Accused number 2 relayed the story to everyone.
I don't
Why did you choose not to have a legal treatment?
My lord, it was my first time being arrested. Yes, there is, when you are arrested, there's rights and you need a lawyer, but I was not in my proper state of mind, my lord. So I didn't even think about getting legal representation at that time. And because IPID promised me that I would be a state witness, I thought I can rely on them because they are officers investigating the matter and they are handling the case. They have powers to do it.
Well, I pay that bandit this of assistant witness. What the Baba created early jam.
Counsel Whitewood, can you explain to this honorable court were any police officers present during your searching occasion with IP?
No, it was only myself and the 4 members of IPID.
Police I inform IP.
We were waiting from 5 up until 7:30 for accused number 2 to arrive.
Linda, if I am 5 years now, 7, but we saw those being a fee.
My lord, no further questions, my lord. My lord, no further questions.
Thank you. Examination.
Counsels to concentrate. They choose to concentrate before it stands.
Mr. Nyatele, sorry.
Scott, my lord, I noticed that in the last witness we were not afforded to
Yes.
correspondence.
Yes. As I said, this is
I
on
don't
the
know
basis.
why the process now.
Look, this was on the basis that, whatever she says, it affects it. Doesn't affect, anybody else except her. Isn't that so?
But obviously, with this witness, it does change. It's obviously about the credibility of this witness relating to the accused.
But, whatever he says, does it change?
number.
So, when you say the credibility, whatever she says, it affects it. Doesn't affect anybody else. That's the reason why.
My lord, can I just find my...
Yes.
Yeah, and
But what I want you to understand, to convey, is that whatever she says,
no, I do appreciate that.
yes, that's the reason why I say, it's trial within a trial, it affects it. It doesn't mean whatever is said is going to affect anybody else. It remains with it.
Yes, my lord. Just to be... Well, court please, my lord, I'm indebted to the court. I will have no questions.
Say no blind man. You have no questions.
So before you start with your cross-examination by the state.
None?
Re-examination.
Sorry?
Re-examination, my lord.
Cross-examination.
Did I say already? I said cross-examination.
Yes, my lord.
Re-examination.
Re-examination.
Ma'am, I noticed when your counsel was questioning you tend to go ahead of yourself to the point where you actually had to the point asking what was the question. You remember that?
Sorry, my lord.
I take it that is something, like you want to tell something, you will tell your story, like you did today.
If I'm for the truth, I'm for the truth and nothing but the truth, my lord. I'm saying if I'm for the truth, I'm for the truth and nothing but the truth, my lord.
Alright,
The reason I'm asking you this is quite interesting because you remember when law would testify as well as the magistrate, Swati, they both were saying you just kept on wanting to tell your story. They had to keep on breaking you to stop you so that they can at least get through all the procedures.
Yes, that is different, my lord, because I just slightly forgot the question, and with them, I was telling them what happened, not concerning questions that she asked.
I know, apparently the developer owned our team.
I think you missed the question that I asked you.
Excuse me?
I was putting to you that you remember that when Swat was testifying and Law was testifying, they were saying that you tended to want to just keep on giving the story and they had to actually break and say, wait, we've got to do the procedures first, we'll give you the opportunity. You
Okay,
remember that?
I
You agree with
understand.
that?
I understand, but I was not in my proper state of mind, so we can't compare the two.
Ma'am, I'm not asking whether you were in the proper state of mind or not. I'm asking you, do you agree with what they said?
I was in shock that time, so I don't agree with what they're saying.
So you don't want to answer the question?
I'm answering your question, Mr. Barnes.
I just want, well, does she agree with what they testified regarding that? And she hasn't answered that number. There hasn't been an answer whether she agrees that she was ahead of herself, that they had to keep on breaking.
Let's make it simple for her to understand. Because that is my point. The state is saying during the testimonial of Ndlovu,
Yes.
the investigating officer in this matter, and the magistrate, they testified that during their interaction with you, they had to restrain you from talking to, before on certain issues. In other words, you were giving them much more than what they needed. They said, no. You agree with that statement or no?
My lord, yes, I agree, because I was, IPID said I must insist on making a confession, on making a statement.
No,
Okay.
I'm not asking about that. They said, do you agree with
Yes, my lord, I do.
Okay, yeah, for my woman, I've got swans and I've got to voting when on the matter of theater, is to the circle.
So, Ms. White, and I also understand from your evidence that, from your version, that because you had these promises, it was important for you that when you gave your story to Ndlovu and you gave your story to the magistrate, that you were as truthful and as accurate as possible. Do you agree with that?
My lord, there was threats involved. Sergeant Scorpion said I must cover for Sitole. So
Sorry, Sergeant?
Sergeant Scorpion said I must cover for Sitole. Sitole wasn't supposed to be in our car. So there is certain aspects in the confession that I don't agree with.
Sergeant Scorpion, we tell the the coverage is still going up another way.
So, if I understand what you're saying now, is even though there was this promise, you still decided not to be truthful about certain aspects.
I spoke the whole truth in the confession. It's only one aspect that I'm referring to, my lord.
I'm likely to refrain from calling this dog statement a confession. Confession is something else, which the court will have to decide later on whether it is a confession or a statement, because they all carry different meaning.
I'm sorry, my lord.
So when you made the statement, the question is, were you still truthful? Did I absolutely correct?
Yes, I've done it, even though no, my lord, the answer was, she says she was truthful, but she decided there was only one aspect that she doesn't agree with. That was her answer.
The Titanian, equal the Indo Imi, and the Inga kind of Titanian candidate.
Okay, ma'am, so let me then break it up. So, the statement made to Ndlovu, were you truthful with that whole statement?
Yes, since the morning that I saw IPID, the first interaction with IPID, I told him the truth.
So, relating to the contents of the statement with Ndlovu, you happy with that statement?
Yes, I am.
We have this is a statement, it's a there's some the other end.
But the statement for the magistrate, there's something in there that you don't agree with.
Yes, there's just an aspect there that I don't agree with. But it's the same as the statement with Ndlovu. And the statement of the morning, Viva Voke.
And the statement in the sense of artists receiving Viva Voke.
sorry, I missed you. You said, what about this statement from the morning?
I'm saying all the statements are the same. The morning was viva voce and the two was, the one is written and the one is typed.
Okay, successor. Session work in that state. That's right.
If I understand what you said earlier, the mistake in the magistrate's statement that was taken down was because accused you wanted to cover for Sitole.
Not I wanted to cover for Sitole. Accused to threatened us to stick to his story and to say Sitole wasn't in the car. I was fearing for my life, my lord, and my family's life because accused number 2 said he would kill me and my family.
Then you
Isn't
say,
that when the colleague is now getting to the medic?
Well, Lord, we haven't my Lord, I would submit if the contents, because the law is clear, if the contents is in dispute, we can disclose the contents. So I'm just trying to establish, because she's saying there were differences in the statement. So I'm trying to establish whether those differences are, there's differences that will be in dispute, then I can do an application to open up the statement. But obviously, if nothing comes from this, then you won't open up the statement.
Yes.
I was just having a problem with that aspect on
Put it in the personal space.
No, but we didn't go into the content. She's just saying that she made the statement because of, I asked her, so that difference, is it you cover for Sitole? And she said no, it's because of threats by using the Q that there are those differences in the statement. Okay, but I think anyway that's a piece we should cover later. Now, Ms. Whitepoint, you were a police officer for a year, am I correct?
Not for a year, my lord, for 8 months. Trainee constable.
and the new training constable in young
And you are well aware that, and in that time, were you present when any person was arrested at any stage?
Yes, I arrested myself, my lord. As a trainee constable, I had made arrests myself.
the same training constable doing the work.
And you will agree with me that when, and would you also agree with me that when you arrest a suspect, they are open to confess if they want?
Yes, they are open, but most of them don't.
I want to say about amateur.
But the point is you are aware of.
Yes.
I think
And you also know that when a person is arrested and wants to confess, you've got to read in his rights before the time, right? Am I right?
Yes, my lord, but also in the police force, when we do arrest, we work as a crew, my lord. So, when we do arrest, we work as a crew. We are crew when we're going out to the field. So, when we do catch someone that did something illegal, one writes the statement, one books in exhibit, and one goes and detains the person. We work as a team to do the whole situation.
Just to assist the court and assist yourself, we don't want to sit here for 3-4 days
Yes.
cross-examining. So please, if I ask a question, just stick to the specific question. The question was, so you are aware that when a person wants to confess, you have to first read his rights?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't know when he confess.
Or when he's arrested?
Yes.
Yeah, but my lord, I'm dealing with a confession itself. The person that wants to confess, he has to have his rights
So
before.
we're talking about the arrest.
Mm.
So, because you at some stage, you find this right being read, when it's arrested, when it's put into the cells, when it's taken out of the cells, when it's brought back to the cells, they keep on singing the same song.
Well, there's no, I'm not aware of that, but this specific question is about a person who's been arrested and wants to confess. Now I'm asking that you agree you've got to read the rights before a person is confessed.
No, I thought you were saying to the arrest, not confession.
Okay, but the confession as well.
I never dealt with such since being in the police force.
Maybe I can't even because I put in there's confessions.
No, I don't understand how that could have made you confused, because the question was a person. I asked you first, can a suspect confess? You said yes, and I said to you, and you agree that that person's right should be read. You said yes. So you gave a long explanation.
You asked about an arrest. Am I right, my lord? He asked about when a person.
Also asked about the confession.
He put it in one sentence, my lord, isn't it? The arrest and confession in one sentence, if I'm right. I was answering you towards the arrest, not confession.
All right, no problem. So,
No, if I can assist, the question of my colleague was, you are also aware that when you arrest a suspect, it is open to confessing. That's how he put it. It's open to confessing.
You know,
That's how he phrased.
You know, I think you know the answer it had the two elements in it.
I just wanted to assist.
Yes, thank you. Please proceed.
all right, ma'am. And you've taken witness statements as well, am I right?
The one statute statements is my witness.
No. I only opened dockets at the CSC when I was in 6 weeks training for CSC. I opened dockets with the complainant only. I've never dealt with a case where I have to take a witness statement. A warning statement? No.
No, witness.
Sorry,
Witness? No, my lord.
So you've never in your whole career taken a witness statement? That's 7 months.
In that 7 months, no, because when I was at the CSC, we interact with the complainant, and there was never a case where there had to be a witness statement that I dealt with.
I can't when I put the end of the statement.
And did you take a statement from the complainant?
Yes.
We'll complain at the air.
And am I correct to say that when you take that statement from the complainant, obviously he's a witness in that specific matter?
I'm not sure, because the complainant is the complainant. The witness is someone that saw what the complainant is speaking about. Or
so when you
Sorry, can you repeat yourself again?
he's saying that he asked me, so the complainant is a witness in that situation. According to my understanding, my lord, the complainant is the one that is coming. Let's make an example, maybe a stolen phone. Her phone was stolen or she was robbed or whatever. So she's going to come and she's going to open a docket by me. She's a complainant, not a witness.
And then when you have taken that statement, the matter goes to court, what do you call that person?
She's the complainant.
But what is the, if it takes a stand in court, what do you call it?
Oh, a what? Sorry, my lord, I didn't know. A witness. It makes sense. Sorry, my lord.
Look, just for an observation, I don't want the court to change this necessarily, but a number of people don't draw, those who are not legally trained, a distinction between a complainant and a witness. They actually do. Whereas those who are learned in law, they regard them all as witnesses.
No, but you see,
So in the
I hear you, but you see, the complainant in this matter is the state. Because the state has to prosecute all the transgressions. And anybody, whether he gives it as a doctor or as a witness. So the witness remains a witness. Let's just.
For legal purposes, it's a witness.
A witness.
But from their understanding, complainant and witness.
But it's a witness. Let's not, muddy the water. Let's proceed.
Now, I want us to go and look at the exhibit relating to the confession.
Is it in this file?
This will be exhibit number S.
You've got the S1 and this what for?
The interpreter's checking. Let's check here. Exhibit?
S1.
S1.
Sorry, just
This one only goes to F, my lord. There's no S in here.
okay, there's stuff to interpret. I don't know if you put them in, but they should then be used.
That is this statement sheet. That was completed by the magistrate
Swartz.
Swart.
When I gave them to the
Which
interpreter.
one do you mean the little? Yes.
Yeah, when we were dealing with this, I know I gave them to the interpreter, so I didn't look at the copy. Otherwise,
Which one are you referring to the magistrate?
S1, yes, the magistrate.
Isn't it this?
You gave me
You
a
got it,
copy.
you got it, good, good. Okay, before we get to the document, just one question that I want to ask you. When you were at college, did they teach you how to do witness statements, how to write witness statements?
In the SAPS form, yes, witness statement, but not court witness statement. Because you're referring to us also as a witness, right?
Because for what I'm back. The question is, at college, did they teach you how to write down a witness statement? for any
Yes,
witness?
for the complainant's witness, yes. My lord, if I may, I wear glasses, my lord, so I think I'm gonna be able to read the confession. No, my glasses accused number 2 is it, my lord.
And at college, did they teach you how to do a confession?
A confession, I can't remember, but I think so.
And Kumbudu is supposed to understand your confession.
And when you take down a complainant statement, or as you said, later becomes a witness, do you agree with me? You don't need to warn that person of their rights.
No, you don't have
What
to.
about a statement to say witness? Complainant awufanele umtshela ngama-rights akhe athi
So, if we look at S1, you'll see on the first page, is it correct to say that that is your signature at the bottom?
The first page, yes, this is my signature.
siyabe signature and
And you heard what the magistrate was testified. You yourself also read through this document.
Yes, my lord, but she knows I read fast because I couldn't even see. I don't have glasses, so I didn't practically read the confession because of my eyesight, my lord. The glasses was left in the van the night of the incident.
ama-classes amasala evenini ngelo
Okay, that's interesting because you remember Lobu said you wrote your statement in your own handwriting.
My handwriting is very big in that statement. It's big in the statement if you can look at the statement.
athi andibhale ngamagama amakhulu kweso statement.
And I put it to you, it's not big. It's not bigger than what we see here in this statement.
I said I might better to see what is in here because I can see that here, these bold prints, yes, I can read them.
So now the question is, how did you write that specific statement if you didn't have glasses?
My lord, can I I was sitting like this at the police station writing the statement and it's in big prints.
feeling all the police station by the statement and then displaying ngamaprint amakhulu.
Okay, so if you sit close, you can see.
Yes. But not clearly, but yes. I can try.
So if you sit close to the statement, you
I can
confirm
try.
that is your signature.
Yes, I know my signature.
Okay, so you can
The
see.
other signature,
And right at the top in bold, you can see it says confession. Am I correct?
Yes.
This is confession,
And you also agree that you were informed that if you make this confession, it can be used against you in the court of law.
Yes, my lord, but as I said, I was traumatized, and if you listen to the magistrate, if I'm right, she said I was just pushing to tell the story. And half of the questions that she read out in court, I don't even remember answering them, my lord.
That's why it was necessary for you to afterwards read through it so that you can confirm everything.
I signed every page, yes, I don't dispute that. But I didn't read everything in the statement. It was after the bail application when my first attorney, Jeff came and explained to me what is in the confession, my lord.
And yet you can remember very well what you wrote in the confession.
Because it's the truth. If I had to lie, I was going to change my version from last year up until now. And I didn't even see this confession in this time. I saw this confession last year.
So from your answer that you've just given, obviously, all of this is the truth.
Like I said, I don't agree with certain aspects. There is an aspect where the judge also, the magistrate also typed that Foster was in our car and he wasn't there.
Sorry?
There's a part in this confession where the magistrate typed that Foster Ngulun, accused number 3, was in our car and he wasn't in our car, my lord. So there are certain aspects in here that I do not agree with.
So where did that information come from then, if it didn't come from you?
I told her that we met up with Foster, not that Foster. If you can look, I don't know, can't remember which page is it, but she's contradicting herself. She says Foster is in our car. In the next paragraph, she says Foster was called. In the next paragraph, she says Foster was met with.
So you're saying that information came from the magistrate?
She must type this thing. Because you can't contradict yourself on one page. You're saying in the first paragraph that Foster is in our car. In the second paragraph, you are saying that we're phoning Foster that is supposed to be in our car in the first paragraph. Then in the third paragraph, on one page, you are saying we meet up with Foster that is in our car in the first paragraph.
But the magistrate testified that she was writing what you were telling her.
I heard the magistrate testify that, yes. But does it make sense for me to say someone is in our car, my lord? And then we're phoning someone, the same person that is in our car. And we're meeting up with the same person that is in our car. Does it make sense, my lord?
The court is not here to answer questions.
Oh, sorry, my lord. Forgive me, my lord. Sorry.
It's made a determination.
Okay, so that's what you told the court now. That's the only problem you have.
No, it's not the only. I said certain aspects.
Alright, but once again, so you're saying the magistrate made a typing error. So
Yes, she made typing errors in it.
According to you, it's a typing.
It's typing errors, my lord. There is a lot.
Okay, so let's get back to the document that you can read it later.
Yes.
Now, in this document, your rights were read to you.
Yes, my lord. Can I please perhaps borrow my advocate's glasses to make it simple? My advocate's glasses. Then we don't have to struggle, my lord.
So you don't want to put your head close. Rather just
I'm gonna get a headache. I suffer from migraines because I don't have my glasses.
Alright, so if you look at this document, and I just want you to welcome to page 2 if you want to.
Page?
You can page 2, just look at the whole document. You will agree with
Just a
me.
minute, we must go through the document. Please go through the document. Page 1 up to,
To the last page. 15.
but there's one which is closed. Certain part of it is closed. So from page 1 up to 19.2. Then from there we get to page 13. Oh, from page 1 up to page 7 and from there page 13.
And then page 13. Okay.
Now, ma'am, if you look at that document, is this what you call a complainant statement?
No.
So I'm going to go seek a complainant statement.
Yes, because you'll agree with me in this document, otherwise than a complainant statement, there's also rights that is being read, and it says confession.
Yeah, because of the heading confession. I agree.
What if I wrote to confession?
So, what I want to ask you is, why, if from your knowledge and what you know from your experience as a police officer of 8 months, or 7 or 8 months, why on earth would you have thought that this is a witness statement?
Because they said to me I must go and tell the magistrate what happened, and the magistrate is going to take a statement from me.
Then there are going to magistrate is a statement for
So what you're saying is when you were sitting there, you knew that this document was a confession.
I knew that it was a statement that I'm giving.
And I planned it for the statement.
If you look at the top of the document, it says confession.
My lord, when I entered the magistrate's office, we didn't write, she typed. This was given after the story was told.
Yes, but the point is, when you read through this document, even if it was typed, you saw confession.
At the top.
Yes.
I don't remember, but I saw that what I said was in the contents of this document.
And you already testified that you know for a fact, from your own experience, this is not a complaint.
Yes.
And you are confessing to a magistrate.
Yes. Now that I'm giving the magistrate a statement.
Well, let's put it this way. You know, whether it's a confession or a statement, this is that eventually it's a decision which the court has to make, whether this is a confession or not. Let's talk about the content than insisting on the heading.
I will point this out. But it was just because it says confession at the top.
But, it makes sense so, but sometimes that's why I always caution about using the word confession statement. In fact, it's better to say this is a statement, because at the end of the day, the court has to make out whether it is a confession.
My lord, this statement, well, my question is not saying it is a confession. I'm just saying, if you look at what's read at the top here, that she knows she was confessing or admitting or whatever the case might be.
Let's make it this way. You made a statement. And then from that statement, the court will have to decide whether it was made freely and voluntarily.
Ma'am, let's go to another point. Am I correct to say that when you went and made this statement to the magistrate, you were already arrested?
Yes, I was from the holding cells.
So, did you make my holding cells?
They arrested me on the 28th at 9:30. Because they called and said they're coming for my phone. They didn't say they're coming to arrest me.
And so the time that you're making the statement, you knew at that point you were arrested person making the statement.
Yes.
So, it's a statement was about you.
And because I was promised my freedom after making this statement.
Now, if we go to page 5 of that document of the magistrate, S4, S1.
Page 5.
Okay, now, you agree with me? You said you can read quite well. Because bold.
Yes, I
You
can
see
read
it's
now.
nice
I
and
have-
bolded.
Oh, sorry.
You see that? Okay. So if we just look at top of that, also in capital letters, the question was, has anyone held out any promise or other inducement of any kind to you to make this statement? And you agree, your reply was no. I would say the best is that I tell the truth to the magistrate, and hopefully the magistrate will make me state witness and be dead.
I said to the magistrate that I but said I must make a statement and that they will make me state witness in this matter. Not that the magistrate will make me a state witness.
So are you saying that the magistrate is lying when she's...
If she
when
mistyped
wrote this?
in the statement, who says she didn't mistype here?
Sorry,
I'm saying if she mistyped in the statement, who says she didn't mistype here?
Sorry, Sims?
She mistyped in the statement. So who
The
said...
question is, are you saying she's lying?
I can say so, my lord, I agree she is lying.
so this magistrate was going and putting in her own information into this document.
Yes, because she was also asking me questions, my lord, like leading questions. She asked, okay, that's going into the merits. That's going into the merits, my lord.
Ma'am, the magistrate also indicated there, because she gave me an answer. She actually went so far from your answer, she actually also made a note, and she said there that the magistrate informed the department that she cannot protect her, neither make her a state witness. That is prerogative of the state. And your answer to that was, I understand that. You see that?
I see it.
So when you were reading this document afterwards, and you were reading this, why didn't you correct the magistrate?
Like I said, my lord, I didn't have my glasses. My glasses is with accused number 2. I didn't really read this confession, but I did sign it.
What did I sign?
It's interesting because when we started and I asked you whether you confirmed this, you went through it and you were happy with it. You said yes, but now you're saying no, but you didn't.
Like I said, my previous attorney, Chief Maluleke, after the bail application, the morning of the bail application, they took me to the magistrate. After the bail application, Chief came and explained to me what is in this confession. That's how I know what is in here.
And yet you knew that all that information, except for the few things you've mentioned, is actually correct.
Not all, but few aspects.
So you were at your mind, the proper state of mind to actually be able to kill.
No, my lord, I was on sleeping tablets from the holding cell, and I was traumatized, and I was not in my proper state of mind at all. I was shaking and nervous. The magistrate said to me, go and smoke a guai by my door every time she sees me shaking and crying.
So from the answer you've given now, are you now saying that you were not at your proper state of mind to tell the truth? So
I
you are
was
able to
not
tell
in my proper state of mind at all. I'm not saying I didn't tell the truth, but I was not in my proper state of mind.
All right, so when you signed this document, what did you say?
I thought I'm
Did you
signing
now
my
believe you would
statement.
be a state witness?
Yes, I believed I will be a state witness and I will be protected. What made me believe it more, my lord, is because at court on the first appearance, they must send you to the prison after court. So they didn't send me to Sun City, where we're supposed to be because it's our jurisdiction, if I'm correct. They didn't send me to Sun City. The IPAT members transport me to Pretoria, to Gosimampur. So I believed that it's true I'll be a state witness.
No, state witness. No, can't ban this and sit. Upon which jurisdiction it was this enforcement period. So the camera rights of assistant state witness.
And so, after this statement, you appeared in court with the other. With who did you appear that time?
On the first day, I appeared in court with Sergeant Scorpion, and I'm not sure if accused number 3 was there, my lord. Because I know his arrest came after hours.
Alright, appeared Sergeant Scorpion, and because of case number 3, I can know about your
Didn't you find it strange? You suddenly, you've made this, you've complied now with this document. You're not supposed to be a state witness. Didn't you find it strange that you are now appearing as an accused in court?
I did find it strange because IPAT also went to my house and told my parents that I am in a safe house. And few weeks later, my parents actually found out I'm not in a safe house, I'm in prison.
Safe house. But months ago, and they could go safe house and say, wrong.
Now, Ms. Whiteboy, so when you appear that you've now said it was strange to you because you're supposed to be a state witness, now you're appearing in court.
It was strange, but also I knew that I was arrested, so automatically I'm an accused.
No, it does, but the butcher does, but is about accused.
But I was just believing I'll be a state witness.
And
some ones are by state witness.
And after that first appearance, were you at any stage made a state witness?
Not at all. I put the second appearance as well. I asked them what's happening. They said no, you'll be turned state witness. Still nothing. Third appearance as well, nothing. And after, I think it was around October, November, IPAT said to me I must inform my lawyer to turn me state witness after that. After they said to me from day one, they're going to make me state witness. But around October, November, IPAT said to me, I must inform my lawyer to make me a state witness.
But how can your lawyer make you
No, according to the IPAT lady, the one that was testifying, because she was mostly transporting me to Gosimampur and Bekwat, Fete, Matoko. So according to her, she said that my lawyer must approach the state and make a deal so that I can become a state witness.
October bands of state witness.
No, they must approach the state.
Yes, this is months after they told me that I'll be a state witness.
So what is the penetration of state by in the state witness?
And I think you love running ahead. So the question was that, were you at any stage made a state witness? Your answer was no, not really.
After this,
At any
no.
stage after?
No,
What kind of state witness?
I was never made a state witness.
So obviously, according to your version, IPAT had broken the deal. You gave the statement, they never made the statement.
According to my version, IPAT misled me.
IPAT misled.
One of them is IP.
And did you, another thing, you say that you only found out, wait, I'll come back to that. So, did you at any, I mean, obviously now they've broken the deal, you're appearing in court, you've got an attorney, did you at any stage inform the court that IPAT had lied to you?
My lord, I believed IPAT because IPAT has authority to do this. I never
The question is, did you inform the court?
No, I didn't, my lord. But because I believe, oh no, I didn't.
And you say that one of your colleagues informed you about the contents, and I'm correct?
No, my previous lawyer, Chief Maluleke, informed me about the contents after the first bail hearing.
And I, I am a Jeff Monday one career.
But then it was never put in dispute when Magistrate was testifying that she said she went and she actually made copies and she gave people.
Yes, she did. She didn't give it to me. She gave me a copy, but IPA took it. IPA took it and they gave it to Jeff Maluleke. They never gave me a copy physically in my hand. She gave it to those males that came with me to the office. They took me to her office.
So so once again the magistrate is lying when she says she gave you.
She didn't give me a copy in my hand. She gave the copy to those males that took me to the magistrate. And when we got to IPAD for court, when we got to IPAD, the males gave the thing to IPAD, the confession to IPAD.
Okay, I must be called part of the confession by IP.
Okay. So then, I'm going to put it to you that all the police officers that came at Goosey, Queen, as well as Law will testify, and they all say the same thing. There was no promises made.
You weren't there, Mr. Baranose. It's between me and the two.
Sorry?
He wasn't there, my lord. I don't agree with it. Oh, sorry.
We don't talk that language.
Sorry, my lord. My apologies. I don't agree with them because Queen and Pussy was with me by the car. They got into the car. They were checking on me because I was crying, and that's when they made these promises to me, telling me to be strong, to be okay, and I will see my family again. That was their words as well.
No Queen Baba, I'm not doing base, so I've been shaking. And what been dinner and the Ben Kilburn dissolve.
And you're well aware that IPAD is a separate entity from the police?
Yes, I am aware of that.
And these people that were speaking to you on that day are all investigators. They are investigators.
Yes.
I want to be investigators.
And you also agree in your work as a police officer, when you arrest a suspect, you cannot tell that suspect that he will keep his job if he tells the truth. Is that correct?
When I arrest a suspect, mostly I'm working the streets. Mostly I was working the streets. So there was no one we had to go and get from their job. We were chasing suspects that were selling drugs or doing funny things in the street, having funny illegal things on them. That's what I did. Nothing of keeping their jobs or taking them from their job.
You see what you do. When I ask you a question, instead of answering the question, you want to come with a long story.
No, but my lord, I never arrested someone from their workplace.
No, listen to the question. The question is, when you've arrested a suspect, do you have the power as a police officer to guarantee that person's job?
Like I said, I arrest somebody that's maybe she's selling drugs on a corner or something. I can't tell her you go back and sell drugs when you're done here.
So if you arrest somebody for theft,
I can't.
Have you got the power to say to that person, you are working at another place, but I can guarantee you, tell the truth and I'll make sure you get your job. Can you do that?
Arresting someone for theft. So this person is working, but they are stealing. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm not asking you to ask questions.
I want to understand, my lord.
So you don't understand.
I don't understand this
The
question.
question, if I may paraphrase it, if you are an arresting officer,
Yes.
you've got the power, arresting officer, you've got the power to make certain promises on behalf of the state.
No.
That's correct.
And now I'm at the December about since.
So if you know this, what made you believe that these officers can make promises on behalf of the state?
These officers are investigating officers. They handling the case. And they made Sitole and Fasage and Hosing state witnesses. Why did I have reason to believe they won't do it with me? And those 3 was in the car with us. And they weren't arrested.
Now we're not dealing here with whether you're a state witness or not a state witness. I'm asking you a job. Did you have the power? Did you believe that they had the power to make promises on behalf of the state that people can keep their jobs?
I answered your question. I said no. Then you asked me, so what made me believe that these people will make me state witness? Am I right, my lord? He did ask what made me believe.
No, I asked you what made you believe that they can guarantee you your job on behalf of the state.
And I answered you, because they are the investigating officers of this matter, I believed they can do it. They have the powers to do it. They did it with Sitole, Hosing and Fasage. That was in our vein.
That's one. You know about my investigating officers for the case.
So they went and negotiated that Hosing and Fasage then can keep their jobs.
Most probably, why weren't they arrested?
Ma'am, I put it to you that you knew, from the answers you've given now, you knew that they did not have the power to make promises for you to keep your job. That is for the SAPS to decide, not I.
I disagree, and I was not in my proper state of mind, so I had reason to believe them.
I then didn't get them, so I'm going by an answer. I don't.
Furthermore, I put it to you that the fact that you were warned that this statement can be used against you, you knew that when you made this, it could be held against you in the court of law.
Yes, I'm not denying that I shot. I knew there is consequences to what happened.
And further, I put it to you that even after the magistrate informed you that there is no power to make you a state witness, you still continued with this statement.
I didn't believe the magistrate. I believed in IPAT. The magistrate. Yes, the magistrate didn't make me the promise, my lord. IPAT made the promise, so I wasn't really worried with her not making me a state witness.
You didn't believe the magistrate?
Yes. My lord, I was also not in my proper state of mind, and it's the first time that this happened to me. So.
And you believe the IP?
Yes, my lord.
And then back by the IP.
So, just to clarify this, so even though the magistrate was telling you this, you didn't believe him. You believed that IPAT would make you a state witness.
Yes, because.
So she must have been lying to you.
Because IPAT is involved in investigating the case. Hence, I believed IPAT. And the magistrate did tell me that she had nothing to do with the case.
Let me understand your wife.
Yes, my lord.
Is it your contention that the investigator or a police officer has much more power than the magistrate?
It's only after that I learned that, my lord.
No, but you say you believe I think because they were investigating officers.
Yes, because the magistrate told me that she doesn't have an involvement. She was said to only take the statement, my lord. So because IPAT has an involvement in this case, I thought, I believed that IPAT would do it for me.
Let me understand it. The magistrate says to you, how come you do it? And so you didn't believe it because you believed the investigating officer.
Yes, my lord.
Just a minute.
And I didn't
Just
have.
a minute, please.
And you know what time the magistrate one, but look at Abanga and you get very good. And the river band, I hear very good. I'm a better I speak one of the time.
All right, and if we now look at paragraph 13.2
Yes.
on page 5. Now, if we look at paragraph 30.1, every time if we look at your answer, the answer on 13.1, you say yes, that I might be a state witness, that they protect me and they maybe will assist me not to return to Eldorado Park. And the next one, the answer again is that I might be a state witness, that they protect me and they maybe assist me not to return to Eldorado Park. So, meaning that you knew that when you made the statement, this might not even happen. Is that correct?
My response was that they will make me a state witness because that's what they told me they will do. They will make me a state witness, they will protect me and my family, and I will get my job back and I will go home.
So once again, the magistrate herself included the word might. She changed your word will to might.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's typing errors on here that we noticed later on in this year, in fact.
Is it typing errors? I mean, is it typing errors or that is the word that wasn't you didn't use?
Yes, it's words I didn't use, my lord.
So if it's words you did not use, it means the magistrate put those words in there.
I assume so because as you heard the testimony of Mr. Ndlovu, he says they called the magistrate to inform her that I'm coming. Now I'm saying maybe she was, what is this, told that I'm coming and what is the story and what.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, there was prior discussions about this case between the magistrate and Mr. Ndlovu.
That's what I heard Mr. Ndlovu testify yesterday, my
No,
lord.
I'm asking you.
I don't know, my lord.
I mean, that's why you're insinuating, and I don't want to misunderstand.
Forgive me, my lord.
Sorry?
You say forgive me, please.
No, you've got to tell me, you've got to testify as much as you want. But I have to be able to understand so that I don't make wrong assumptions.
That was my understanding from what Mr. Ndlovu testified yesterday.
And your understanding being what?
That he said that they made arrangements for me to meet with the magistrate. So that was,
You know that we had also discussing the matter.
I don't know, my lord, I think so.
No, it's just something. Not about the marriage.
Sorry?
It's not about this. It's just something that I observed in the judgment, which
Look, that is the difficulty of your qualification was let them set it up.
It's just about
No,
my duty as an officer of the court, my lord.
No. Please do not, invite
It's
this.
not about them, my lord.
No,
It's
no,
about
no,
the
no,
court.
it's
I'm
about-
responsible to the court.
No. Look, do not invite yourself. I will invite you if I so wish. This procedure is rejected. With respect.
Okay, and then if we go and look at paragraph 14 on page 6.
Yes.
You said to did you say these words to the magistrate? Honestly, what happened must happen, and that my family is safe.
Yes, because I knew there's consequences for what happened that evening.
Well,
As
yeah,
long as
well,
my
look-
family is safe.
look
That was
at
my
the
main
answer,
concern. My
look at the
family, my
answer.
child, my mother, that is an elder.
So, in the one who said that,
So what did you mean by what happens must happen? What do you mean by that?
She said to me that I know this thing can be held against me. And I said to her, yes, I do know that because I was in the car and I'm the one that pulled the trigger. So there is consequences that's going to follow after the incident. But as long as my family is safe, I didn't want my family to get hurt because of the threats that I received. The threats that I received.
you know, for openness and those are the minimum rather than the true sin.
So in other words, you knew that you could be prosecuted, right?
Yes, I knew it.
Who has
Obviously, it's
not-
what happened that evening.
Let's not get into that, you're dealing with here with a question of admissibility.
Yes, ma'am.
Not that you are you're guilty or not. That's not what we're dealing with.
So in other words, so the last question was you knew you could be prosecuted, you said yes. So the next question is, so in other words, there was a possibility you wouldn't be able to take it.
Not that I believed. Not that I did, what else can I say? I didn't believe I won't be a state witness because I gave IPAD the case, my lord. I gave them everything.
I know that I'm going and will assist the witness why the morning I take the case you.
So how could you then be prosecuted if you're a state witness? I need to understand that. What your understanding of it?
What I knew is because I followed instruction and pulled the trigger, my lord. Definitely, the ammunition, I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware of this ammunition even. So because of that ammunition and because somebody was declared dead at the hospital, obviously there's going to be consequences to it.
I think that what Kukum also they give because this is around my darling.
Now, I finally put it to you that Magistrate Swart confirmed that this document was correctly reported. There is no mistakes. And what she reported here is what you reported.
I don't agree because there is some mistakes in that. Statement. So I don't agree.
And tell me, when the warning statement was taken by Ms. Dorwood, am I right, you also gave him the statement?
Aye?
You gave him Dorwood's statement, am I correct?
Yes, I did. The evening of my arrest.
And when you gave him, and after you gave him the statement, did he then make you a state witness?
He arrested me. He told me I'm being charged for murder and he sent me to the holding cells. This is after I gave him the statement. He told me that I must go to the holding cells because I'm arrested for murder. And when I gave Mr. Ndlovu the statement, my lord, I was also not in my proper state of mind because it was 2 days after the incident. And I went to the...
And you went?
I was taken to the doctor on Thursday, the 27th of August. The incident happened the 26th. I was taken to the doctor the Thursday afternoon, the 27th, by Constable Gibb. She took me to a doctor in Lanes. The doctor in Lanes gave me sleeping tablet and pain medication because of how the firearm hit me in my face. From there, Constable Gibb took me to my aunt's house in Kliptown. And I got home, started drinking the medication. The time when iPad called me for my phone, I had just woken up. For the second time, when they asked to meet me for the second time, I was sleeping when my phone was ringing because of the tablets.
Let's go back to the question that I really asked. If I understand your answer, you were made promises to become a state witness. You give a statement. Am I correct?
I told iPad in the morning on the first meeting, I told iPad what happened, the truth. Then from there, the afternoon iPad called me the second time. They told me I must stick to the truth and I must make a statement. They will make me a state witness and they will protect my family and I'll be able to get my job back and I'll go home.
You've already testified in the evidence, so you already don't have to repeat everything. All that I want to know from you, so if I can get the sequence correct, you were firstly promised that if you give a statement, you save your job, you'll be a state witness. This happened?
Those promises happened on the second occasion of meeting iPad. In the morning, I was with Colonel Chowk at iPad when I verbally told them, Viva Voke, what happened.
Yeah, but the question is, they made these promises. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So then, in line with these promises, you made a statement with Mr. Law.
Yes, and from Mr. Law.
Am I correct or am I right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going through the whole process. And then after giving this statement to him, and now having to become a state witness, he arrests you.
He arrested me, yes. And hence I was, how can I put it? I was losing my marbles more. I was traumatized and terrified because now I'm going to the holding cells, my lord. And then they only came to fetch me Monday from the holding cells in the morning. I was terrified of being in the holding cells as well.
Right, yeah, but so and then he arrests you, he locks you up after giving your statement.
Yes.
So you're obviously not a state witness at this point.
But at that time it didn't register to me. I wasn't in my proper state of mind. And I knew you, as an arrested person, you must go to court. So I thought maybe Monday morning when they take me to court, that is when the deal will be sealed.
If you are going other directions in the question, please just listen to the question. I don't want you to repeat your whole evidence. I just want to know about this. Let's focus on this.
Okay.
So you give your statement, he arrests you, puts you in a cell. Okay? Then, from those previous promises that were made to you, you now are taken to the magistrate, am I right?
3 days later, or 3 days after being in the holding cell, yes.
And as a person that was now locked up the whole weekend and arrested, you on those still believe those promises and you give another statement, am I right?
Yes, because normally when we arrest, maybe we arrest a person today, I do know for a fact that 2 days later, that person goes to court. So 2 days later, after the arrest, 2 days later, the person, because you can't be in a holding cell for more than 48 hours. So 2 days later, you must go to court. So I believe that when we go to court, this is where it will be formally and legally done.
So after giving your statement to Logo and after the promise, you decide to in any way, and now being incarcerated, you decide to give a second statement.
They told me I should insist on giving a statement to the magistrate. Because they also told me that the handwriting one won't stand. It must be by a magistrate.
I put it to you, ma'am, that there was no promises made to you. That's why you were arrested.
I don't agree with you. I believed I put so.
Further, ma'am, just finally, Logo also testified, I put you that Logo testified that you were the one who continuously wanted to make this confession. That's why he then went forward and he actually got the documents and it was completed. So that came from you. You were the one that was adamant to make that statement.
As I said, Queen and Busi was at the car with me, not Ndlovu. Hence I insisted on making the statement because the two females told me they made the promises to me, not in Ndlovu or Fete.
I end up okay, affected when there's the 10 days.
And you heard what Colonel Sambu said before you even spoke to Bruce Lee. You had spoken to him on the 27th. Remember, he said it was on the 27th. I'm just putting our version to you. On the 27th, he says, he spoke to you, and you then gave him the whole story of your own.
My lord, I'm sure Mr. Baranos didn't read Colonel Sambu's statement because it's not what he's saying in his statement. And I didn't speak to anybody at the station that evening. I was crying because of what happened.
I mean, the leader, then can't check up the station and everything.
And Colonel Sambu that evening, when we got to the police station, Colonel Sambu called myself, Asagi Khosing, and Sergeant Scorpion into the, what's this box? Room where they used to do certification in the CSC. It's a small room. We got there, I was crying. Scorpion was relaying the story. Colonel Sambu said, okay, let me wipe the firearm with sanitizer, and you're gonna lie and say that the firearm went off by itself. Because he's a pops colonel, he knows and he works with these firearms, that's what they do.
What's that?
Colonel Sambu. He said he's wiping the firearm with sanitizer so that...
Just a minute.
I couldn't say that Uksula is coming, sanitizer over city. I said to learn.
Just a minute.
He's wiping the firearm with sanitizer, and he wiped the firearm with sanitizer in front of us. He wiped the firearm with sanitizer and he said to us that we must say the firearm went off by itself. He's a pops colonel.
Just a minute. This is the firearm that we're talking about.
Yes.
The shotgun.
Yes, my lord.
So the firearm went. Yes.
Now, I just want to understand this correctly. This information, this is very important information. You did share it with your counsel.
With my counsel, yes, I did. Yes.
Because you agreed it was never put to Colonel Sambu.
Yes,
he
yes.
was actually involved in this crime. He was actually a suspect in this crime.
My counsel does know, and I did tell them to put it, but when Colonel Sambu testified, he testified off-ramping. So they he off-ramped from his statement. So they changed the direction in which the questioning was done. Hence we asked for an adjournment. Hence we asked for an adjournment because Colonel Sambu was not speaking what was in his statement. He came and said a completely different story than what he wrote in his statement.
Colonel Sambu, it's a time and there will be a statement.
It's a statement of Colonel Sambu was presented to me. That's evidence.
Remember, I put it to you, that's what you're saying now.
My lord,
That's a no, wait a minute, you're going to be able to have your chance.
okay.
I'll put it to you now, you're not speaking.
The statement was submitted, my lord. It's in his statement.
It's a statement.
Now, you testified that you also, before these writs that gave irrevocably told the truth. Am I right?
It's at the station, 10 o'clock, with Colonel Chauke in front of iPad. Sergeant Scorpion wasn't there, he was late.
Well, this police station, Sergeant Scorpion and I am late.
And this, am I right to say that was before flip down?
No. I only spoke about the incident on the 28th, 10 o'clock at Kliptown Police Station.
I called my another Cliptown police station at 28 10 o'clock.
Remember, I find it very interesting because if we listen to what Sambu testified in court, and what was cross-examined as well, he made it very clear that he wanted to know whether it went off automatically itself or whether you fired the shot. You remember that?
I heard him.
And I'm going to say, why from one bank not to wood out from south to wood.
And that's when you started telling him the story.
And not me, my lord. Accused number 2. I was crying.
I mean, that did I end more at a accused number 2.
My lord, this incident touched me very badly because I'm the one that pulled the trigger. So what the...
Answer the questions, not you're not
Sorry, my lord.
in lacking sheet. Answer the question. When did Philip Chauke try to testify? Was it people misconduct? Or people
Yeah, he
misconduct?
testified. Yes, my lord, I'm going to ask you the question relating there because you remember.
No, I just want to find out when did he testify?
It was before Brown. Yeah, he was one of the first witnesses. I've actually got it. It was after Sitori. He testified after Sitori. So Sitori was the second witness and he was the other the third witness.
And he testified on marriage.
That's correct. Ninth class.
Yes. Yes. That's what it is.
Now, man, what's interesting is he's calling out Chauke when he testified. He made it clear that it was accused one who told a story to him. You never spoke to him.
Accused 1, I am accused number 1. That's accused number 2.
Sorry, accused number 2. You gave him the story. He never spoke to you. You never gave him the story.
Yes, I met with Colonel Chauke Friday, not Wednesday on the incident. I'm speaking about Friday, not Wednesday.
Not from the Friday, no Wednesday.
But man, obviously, he was clear because I asked him who was the one speaking and he said accused number 2.
Yes.
Otherwise, he made it clear. He never spoke to you. You never gave him the story.
But
it
he-
was never put to him that you had actually gave the story to him.
He said that I was with accused number 2 at the station. Accused number 2 was the one telling him the story.
And you were crying. And
Yes.
that's the reason why he excluded you from.
You also asked if I was...
You know, that's the reason why he excluded you from the
Interview.
interaction.
Yes.
So ma'am, I just put it to you that you make a mistake when you say it's gone out jumping because it was gone out somebody to who you made, you told the story.
I was crying on the evening. Why would I be crying and shaking with Colonel Chauke, who is the duty officer that we saw last that evening? And I'm speaking to Colonel Sambo. Before we see Colonel Chauke, we went into Colonel Sambo's office. And I was crying there even. Colonel Sambo even said that Sergeant Scorpion must take me home because I'm traumatized.
Thank you, my lord. I have heard it.
Re-examination.
Constable Whiteboy,
Yes, my lord.
it's already on record that one of the witnesses testified yesterday that you took them to Naturena Ferry.
No, don't know.
My lord, I will draw that question, my lord. Constable, what boy, you indicated earlier on that the magistrate said you go and smoke coming again. Can you explain it further, please?
When I got to the magistrate's
Does it come out of the cross-examination? Please listen a little. You are not addressing yourself. I'm addressing myself to him. Don't say yes. Please restrain yourself.
Sorry, my lord. Apologize.
Does it come out of this? Because cross-examination, you are clarifying certain things that may issue be made.
How many times did you go out and smoke in the magistrate?
You didn't answer my question. Did it come out of the question that way, after this cross-examination? Mr. Barnos, would you ask about the smoking?
My lord, I never asked that question about smoking. I know when she was running away with one, she spoke about smoking, but that was not relevant to the question that I was asked. So it did not emanate from cross-examination.
I'll withdraw that question, my lord.
I don't want to restrain you from doing this, but you also keep the protocol.
I get you, my lord. Constable Whiteboy, I refer you to paragraph 18.1 of her statement, my lord.
It's on page.
Sorry?
Page 5
Okay.
of her statement. The same statement that.
Okay. Of exhibit S1.
Indeed, my lord.
Yes, that is page.
5.
Page 5.
Yes.
Paragraph 13.1 and 13.2.
Yes.
You said that there was a typing error.
Yes.
Can you actually read the same paragraph to the record?
13.1 or 13 promise. 13.1. Were any promises made to you by any person should you make a statement? Reply, yes, that might be a state witness that they protect me and they maybe assist me not to return to Eldorado Park. Should I continue?
No, just go to 13.2.
Sorry, just so if I understood you correctly, you said the word might
Is not the correct
is
one.
wrong, then the correct word should be will.
Well, yes.
That's a name. Thank you.
Can you proceed to 13.2?
13.2. If so, by whom, when, and what was the nature thereof? Reply, that I might be a state witness that they protect me and they maybe assist me not to return to Eldorado Park.
Constable Whiteboy, did you pick up any error there?
What I picked up is that the statements here is kind of the same, so you can actually see that I wasn't in my proper state of mind.
We are not investigating your purpose of that thing.
Okay. What did I pick
The
up?
question is, did you pick up any mistake there?
Here by 3.13, the question is, if so, by whom, when, and what was the nature thereof? The reply is not answering the question.
So did you pick up any mistake there? That is the question that is being asked to you.
Might, okay, I'm going to according my reply here, my lord. That I might is the mistake. That they protect me and they maybe assist me not to return to Eldorado. Might is the mistake.
In this case, Apple might indicate.
Can you state the name of those people to the record, please?
Sorry?
Can she mention the name of those people to the record?
Which people?
Just a moment, my lord. Just want to clarify something. Constable Whiteboy,
Yes.
in this statement where you said there's an error, does it state the name of people who gave you the promise?
No.
Iyabhala apho abantu abanika izithembiso khona.
Is that the error that you are referring to?
No. What do you mean? Before I answer, what do you mean?
I said, is that the error that you are referring to when you said there were some errors in the statement?
No.
Yezona into ezingabhalekanga kuhle ukuthethwa ngazo angithi.
If you can read that statement, it says, it states by whom?
Yes. Yes, answer this. Yes, answer this.
Constable Whiteboy, can you just clarify why you didn't believe the magistrate?
Because the magistrate told me she don't have an involvement in this case. And IPIT is the ones directly involved because they are investigating officers.
I don't have any doubt.
Miss Whiteboy,
Yes, my
I'm
lord.
going to revert back to the question which was put last. And I want you to understand very clearly why I'm doing this. You are asking, is it the reason why you leave the magistrate? And I want and I asked you earlier, and you said yes, you didn't believe her. And you believe the investigating officers.
Yes, my lord.
Now I want to tie that up with what you just now told us, that Kenneth Sambo wiped out the firearm with the
Sanitizer.
the
He said that the firearm, we must say the firearm went off by itself because
Is
he's
it the
a...
reason why you believe the police than the presiding officer?
I didn't go with Colonel Sambu's story, my lord.
No, but no, I mean, is it the reason? I mean, here you have said you believe the architect. Who was the investigating officer? Now you say somebody there, quite senior, wipes off the thing and said must go off. You must say it went off on his own. Out of this. Is it the reason why you believe the investigating officer than the presiding officer?
Yes, my lord, because they were directly involved with investigating the matter, so I believe they had the powers to make me a state witness.
Namathemba bebebandakanye kwelithala ngabo ababe-investigator bendithemba ukuba bazondenza i-state witness.
Yes, Mr. Then, yes, then
Nothing about it.
did you hear what he says? He said, I believe them because they're investigating. Doesn't believe the magistrate.
My lord, can I just take an instruction on that aspect if the court can permit me, my lord?
And I particularly asked that Because that's a question of distribution. And I didn't want to comment on it in my judgment without being able to do that.
Just to be clear, my lord.
I'm asking out with the question that I raised. Not anything else.
Constable Whiteboy, is somebody the investigation officer of in this matter?
No, I believe.
Somebody investigation officer will really got at IP.
Nothing, no other.
Thank you, Julies. Good, thank you.
My lord, thank you for giving me
No, it's all right. You don't have to tell anybody. That is your right.
My lord, we are not closing our case. We're going to call one witness on Monday. It's a member of the family, but today she's not around because she's sick, my lord.
Will you alert the state of your court?
My lord,
You know the reason why I'm saying this is because they are also involved, and then their clients are in. Rights also have to be protected. Not only the legal rights, but the economic rights.
that's correct, my lord.
Because if you're going to get any adjournment, and it affects also the arrangements. And we've got to be mindful of that. Anyway.
My lord,
So that
you understand that this family member was present during these incidents, or is it somebody who's going to come tell us?
I don't know. I don't want to close the door to the witness, but the building up the way to this is very worrisome. It's very worrisome. So what they seek now is a postponement. Isn't that so?
I meant that, my lord.
I know what's a man. You've got to, when you're here, you've got to get attention, to the court.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that we were going to call a witness. Otherwise, we probably would have made arrangements to it.
Because, when we do all these things, and I don't want to say that they are not, they should not follow the witness, but the introduction there, and even letting of our colleague there is problematic to me. Because, it's not only your client who is, having the rights. It's also other people. And when they come here, they pay. And we've got to use the minimum, anyway. So what is the attitude of the state and other colleagues? Mr. Newton, there is an insinuation that they will like the matter to stand down. And my worry is, and this emanates from what we said in Chambers the other day, we've got to go, and one in order to accommodate. But it must be made known in time so that you can also align yourself. Because, your clients, financially is also compromised.
Definitely, my lord.
But we cannot, deny. The only thing is that, this seems to be in my view, maybe wrong.
My lord, I was not aware of the witnesses that my colleague intends to call, and I just assumed that he would obviously call his client. However, I guess if he feels that he has to be accommodated.
But is this right, and we cannot determine at this stage the relevancy thereof relating to the document in question.
Yes.
And I take it that once a request of termination is made, it's made in good faith.
Yes.
The only thing is, why was it, yesterday when we were trying to sort out the timetable, how to accommodate one-on-one, when we knew at least at that time we have already been trying to it was not brought to say, all those things. But,
The court can exercise its discretion because at the end of the day, what matters is the importance of
yes.
Section 35 rights.
Mr. Massetti,
Yes, Madam Mayor, at least I've heard my lawyer colleague. I believe he's got his own reasons for seeking the postponement. So if I were to address in a different direction from his request, then it will appear, my lord, as if I'm not.
Yes,
I'm not. I'm in a way of his case. Like I'm shutting doors for him to prove his.
I'm not against this, but we try to accommodate them. And the only thing that we really want is, if it was made, made earlier, and to say, look, then we and to say that the witnesses will not be available, then we may have shifted this thing so that we preserve the other day, so that today you don't have to mark your brief. That is all what I'm saying. Anyway, so then what?
I'm sorry, Madam, can I make a suggestion? We're busy with the trial of the trial. I mean, this is a compartment within the main trial.
Yes.
I could see no reason in the interest of justice, and to save time that we've lost a lot of time, that we maybe close that compartment for now, provisionally, until Monday, and then we can carry on with the main trial today.
So would you have a witness?
Yes, my lord.
Is that witness evident not going to be tried today?
Well, that's going to be, basically what we're going to do is we're now going to move on to accused number 3, so that's also going to be a trial of the trial. So we'll move on to the next compartment, and then Monday we can just, as I said, it's little.
Also, we can start with
I just want to make sure my witness is here, but I think he should be.
Yes, Mr. City.
I'm ready, my lord. If he intends to, because I did ask him. He said,
what is the Islam thing for about?
And it's going to be a statement made by accused number 3. But because the evidence of accused 1 doesn't really touch where we're going with accused number 3, I decided to not make it one trial in the trial, but to split the trial. It is a
so it doesn't affect the accused number 1 and
not at all.
number 2.
Not at all. It's going to be a separate compartment.
I tend to agree with him. If we deal only with these issues that are brought to his attention, in terms of trial within a trial,
Yes.
they've got nothing to do with 1 and 2.
Yes. And then what is the
issue?
The time limit you tend to.
Well, we're going to try and keep it as short as possible as well.
So
I just want to confirm if you can make that just adjourn for 5 minutes, so then I can just make all
yes,
the
before we adjourn, so
my client was asking for comfort break.
yes, let's take a break. But can you come? Please come to my chamber. Please come and take your break.
All right.
Yeah.
This matter, because we are not going to sit beyond 4 o'clock, this matter is going to adjourn until Tuesday, the 2nd of November. And I plead again, pretty don't that council is not taking instructions which are contrary to the procedures. If you have made up your judgment, the judgment must be respected by clients, not all anybody because clients is I take unkindly to somebody saying to me, my instructions are this, because that insinuates that you do not agree with them, but because they are your instructions, you have to carry them out. That's the kind of language that is very problematic with me, not because I know English, but if you say, my instructions are, the mere appearance is a instruction. When you re-emphasize it, there's something about it. Logic dictates that. So let's try to accommodate everybody. Let's try to, particularly those who are taking out of their pockets. I'm not, subsidized by the state or even the state funded legal representation. State. And then the time we use the data, let us use this one. The matters then adjourned to Tuesday, the 2nd of November, in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini, 2021, and your bail is extended. Please bring all the details you want. And let's not go in Eldorado students. Let's deal in the life situation. The court adjourns.
All right. So, we choose one of them. Did you see it?
I think so the picture.
Oh, okay.
That's one now.
This will take your mind higher.
That's nice. I like to be my mind to be challenged further.
Put all the
No, of course.
put all the documents.
I'm academic.
Listen, put all the documents together. Then you can just complete the files again. These are all my papers. Then you just go and put everything together again. Those ones.